Is that a real question? Come on, the carnivore diet is a fad, just like paleo was a fad and keto was a fad. Carnivore is a fad. Intermittent fasting is a fad. Animal-based is a fad. It's all fads. These are short-term, exclusionary, restrictive, disordered dietary programs. That's a fact. Like, carnivore has already lost a tremendous amount of its followership because it just doesn't work. Like, meat is great. I eat meat. I eat meat every single day. I eat animal products, sure. But I'm an omnivore. I'm an omnivore. Your ancestors were omnivores. The greatest athletes with the longest standing careers are omnivores. The longest living humans on the planet are omnivores. We're all omnivores. This carnivore stuff is a fad, baby.
All right, our good friend Mike Dolce is back complaining about the carnivore diet again. He's calling it as a fad diet. Now, first of all, I'd like to give him some credit. First of all, he says he's a meat eater, so good on you, Mike, for continuing to eat meat. I think those people that don't, I don't tend to trust them. But the other thing is that he's not using a glamour filter like our favorite vegan from yesterday was using. So good on you. You don't need a glamour filter to hide whatever. Who knows what's going on in 6 pounds of makeup, supposedly. All right, so the points that he makes is, number one, it's a fad diet. Number two, humans are omnivores. Number three, it's disordered eating. And number four, it doesn't work. And so let's talk about some of those things. So first of all, are humans omnivores? Well, if you've read my book, I clearly state humans are omnivores. We've been omnivorous for at least probably somewhere around 80,000 years if we look back into the anthropologic record. Now, prior to 80,000 years ago, there's pretty good evidence that we were primarily or mostly carnivorous. So there is some evidence that. Now, what relevance does that have to do with today? I mean, we live in a post-agricultural, post-industrial society. We're not living out in the jungles or, hunting down mammoths. And so there's all this, food everywhere. And so that is, humans, for the near future, for sure, probably most of the time, will continue to remain an omnivorous species. Now, one thing I will add to that is I think we are probably facultative carnivores. Now, what does that mean? Now, facultative carnivory means that, well, yes, you can have an omnivorous diet, but you tend to prefer and perhaps do better on a, all meat or mostly meat diet. I think there's some evidence that would support that. Certainly, again, anthropologically going back, it seems to have been the case, at least for some parts of humanity, for some parts of time. Now, the second thing is he talks about disordered eating patterns. And so, by that definition, you could say, well, if I exclude grains from my diet, is that, because it's exclusionary and restrictive, is that disordered eating? If I exclude junk food, is that exclusionary and disordered eating? And some people say, yeah, of course, you should be eating everything. It doesn't matter what it is. I would argue that the current diet of most people is really this disordered eating pattern. We see most people, and I'm sure Mike is aware of it just as anyone else is. You look around, everybody's sick, obese, fat, out of shape, miserable, depressed, and that has a direct correlation to the type of diets that most people eat. So I think that is really the disordered eating pattern. I think anybody that tries to get away from that, whether it's a vegetarian diet, a vegan diet, a Mediterranean diet, a whole food diet, perhaps a Dolce diet, or a carnivore diet, I think are actually demonstrating a greater level of health and mental health by doing so. So I would just disagree with the disordered eating aspect of that. Now, the question about, is it a fad diet? Well, is it a fad? Well, what is a fad? A fad is something that gains rapid, wide popularity with intensity and then fades out over time. And I don't know, maybe it will be. Maybe it'll turn out that's not the case. Now Mike certainly knows about fad diets. If we look at Google Trends, here's his numbers where he peaked, somewhere around maybe 2014. It's been kind of in a downward spiral since then. And Mike says, well, the carnivore diet is losing followers and it's fading away already. Well, that's not what the data seems to suggest. I'm at ground zero on carnivore. I see it every day. I see more and more people trying this, coming to this and reaching, better health. And this is what the numbers on Google Trend look like on the carnivore diet. So it's clearly going up. When that'll turn or peak, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. And the last point, which I think is the most problematic point, it doesn't work, right? So the question is, what do you mean by that? It doesn't work. People don't lose weight. Well, yes, they do. People don't get healthier. Well, clearly they are. We have literally thousands upon thousands of people that have not only lost much weight if they need to, some people are too skinny and they put on weight actually. But there's people with autoimmune diseases. And I know he tried to say, well, it's just a minority, small portion of the population. Well, in the United States alone, there are tens of millions of people right now suffering from autoimmune disease. And those numbers are growing every single year. There are people, obviously, with obesity. 70% of our population is either overweight or obese. 50% of our population is diabetic or pre-diabetic, and I won't talk about arthritis and all these other things. So the people that potentially could benefit from this and do benefit from this is an enormous number of people, right? It's not some small fringe group. You say, well, maybe they could benefit from another diet. Well, most of them have already tried other diets, right? And they find that this, compared to other diets, has been more efficacious. It tends to work better. And so you can continue to diss it. What is the incentive for doing that? Well, social media, you get more clicks, you get more views, your fad diet is, kind of past its point. And maybe you're doing it because, you just need something to talk about. And it's always, fun to take snipes at people that are maybe having success, right? And I get that, right? But regardless what you think, what you believe, the fact that people get healthy is not going to change. People are getting healthier. People are having success. And what I would, if you watch this video, Mike, and I suspect your followers will send this to you, perhaps you'll watch this, go in and read the comments on this video. And you guys that are watching this, if the carnivore diet has helped you, because Mike says it doesn't work, just list some of the things it's helped you with. And anybody who is at least rational will say, like if I look outside and say, I start saying, hey, the sky is green. I believe the sky is green. And everybody around me says, hey, no, look, dude, it's blue. It's blue, right? And you continue to persist in the, it's a green sky, or it doesn't work, then shame on you, right? All right, folks, I got some steaks cooking because I'm on this fad diet, right? And the other thing is, one final point, when you say it doesn't work or no one should do it or something along those lines, there are people that do this for 3 months, 6 months, a year. They get healthier and they go on to incorporate more foods back. And I'm all in favor of that if that's what they want to do and that's what helps them. But at the end of the day, we need to get people healthy. And if this is a tool that gets people healthy, gets them unaddicted to food, which many people are, gets them off medication, which many people seem to have this, then we should all be celebrating something like that, not demonizing it because it competes with our particular niche or whatever. So anyway, like I said, I'm happy for people to get healthy regardless of what diet they pursue, but they should do something, right? All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye now.